This week, of course, is going to be a very big week for confirmation. We just had Pam Bondi confirmed as Attorney General. I like her. Okay, I would have rather had Matt Gaetz. I'll admit it. But Pam Bondi, she has been a strong fighter for many of the causes that I believe in. She's one of the few, quote unquote, mainstream or establishment Republicans who fought tooth and nail against 2020 voter fraud, against the stolen election. Puts her way higher up in my book than a lot of other people. She's been loyal to the Constitution, loyal to the United States of America, and she has remained loyal to President Trump. So I'm glad that she's in there and she got confirmed. But there are other bigger confirmations coming. According to Human Events, Gabbard and Kennedy's confirmations kills the old GOP. And this is from the Human Events editorial board. This is about realigning the GOP away from its toxic, out-of-touch former brand once and for all and bending it to the pro-working class, pro-peace, and pro-accountability government philosophy which President Trump's visionary leadership embodies. Now, to be clear, look, I have certain challenges with both RFK Jr. as well as Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Kash Patel, I'm perfectly aligned with him. He's great. That's the one. If I can, between the three of them, if I can only have one, I'll take Kash. Okay, I'll take Kash. And sorry, RFK, we'll make America healthy again some other way. Sorry, Tulsi. Sorry, But Kash, we definitely won in there, and I have no ideological misalignment with him. With Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., I do. I have certain things where I wholeheartedly disagree with them. Okay? But the scope of what they're supposed to do, I'm mostly aligned. Okay? RFK Jr.'s desire, his goal to make America healthy again, to have transparency for ingredients, for sourcing, for health risks of certain ingredients, especially GMOs and certain dyes, pretty much all dyes. I mean, how they color food in most other countries with actual literal natural colors, like as in like they take the fruit, the peelings off this particular fruit and they grind it up and that makes orange or whatever. I don't know how it works, but yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, I'm perfectly aligned with him on that when he talks about climate change, when he talks about abortion, when he talks about pretty much anything else. Economy, gosh, horrible. Then he and I would go round and round. But when it comes to the thing that he's supposed to do, we don't. And you might say, I know a lot of people say, yes, even Mike Pence was saying, yes, but he's like pro-abortion and he's going to be over HHS, so he's going, no, he's not. Okay. He's not going to do anything with abortion. Cabinet members, for those who don't realize it, cabinet members are simply extensions. They're basically subject matter experts, and they're supposed to get things done based upon the president's agenda. It's not like they have their little fiefdoms and they're out there doing whatever they want. I mean, in most cases they do, by the way. I shouldn't say they don't. In most cases they do pretty much that. They do kind of whatever they want based upon direction from the administration, direction from the president. They have to interpret things. But there's certain things, such as abortion. It's not like we're going to confirm RFK Jr. and then all of a sudden abortion is funded in every state, and across the board by the federal government. That's not going to happen. Okay? The little changes that he's going to make, that he'll make without President Trump's approval, just because they're small and don't need to be wasted on him, they will be consequential of some sort, or maybe not even consequential at all. But when it comes to the important things, is he going to change abortion and make us take us towards more abortions? Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. And if it does happen, then Trump will fire him. Or Trump was involved. Those are the only two options there. Okay. And when it comes to making America healthy again, then we'll see. Now, there's the question of vaccines. Is he backtracking? Did he have to cut deals? I saw some editorials asking, how did he get through committee? Did he make some promises to some committee members? How is it looking like he's probably going to get confirmed? What did he do? Because he's been a champion for vaccine truth since long before COVID-19. He's been doing this for years, decades, right? So did he change his mind? How did he get through? We'll see. We'll see. Honestly, I don't care nearly as much about the vaccines as I do about the transparency. I'm a big fan of sourcing food. And I'm a big fan of transparency when it comes to pharmaceuticals. Pretty much anything with your health, you should be able to have informed consent. And informed consent requires being informed, which requires information, which requires, apparently, it shouldn't be, but apparently requires RFK Jr. As far as Tulsi Gabbard, look, she's great in a lot of regards. And in what she'll be able to do as Director of National Intelligence, I think she'll be fantastic. The primary role, for those who don't know, the primary role of the DNI is to filter through vast amounts of intelligence information and figure out what the president needs to know about and what the president doesn't need to know about. What can be prioritized? Because you got like a 17-minute brief in the morning that you can give every day. They get hours worth of data that they could go over. They get reports left and right. They have to be able to take that, crunch it down, and determine what does the president need to know, what does the president not need to know. What do I need to update? What do I not need to update? What needs action? What does not need action? And I think that she'll do a great job of that. But that's my spiel before we get in the article. This comes again from the Human Events editorial board. This Tuesday, two of President Trump's most controversial and necessary appointees took their first steps towards assuming office. Lieutenant Colonel Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's nominee for Director of National Intelligence, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his nominee to be Secretary of Health and Human Services, both passed their committee votes, despite worrying initial warning signs that senators such as Todd Young from Indiana or Bill Cassidy from Louisiana might defect. However, those warning signs, thanks in no small part to unprecedented pressure from the Republican grassroots base, such as you, turned out to be false alarms. I wouldn't say they were false alarms. Is it if an alarm goes off and you put out a fire, was that a false alarm? Like a little fire, prevent it from getting big? I would argue that instead of a false alarm, we heard the warning signs and we reacted. And then before the fire started, you had people, look, things are heading in the right direction, sort of, at least, from a Senate perspective, when even Susan Collins is pushing towards confirming Trump's nominees. She hates Trump. She absolutely despises Trump. But something's happening. And I think it's the people. I think it's possible that it's the people that are coming out and saying, hey, yeah, we're good. We're good. You're not. Do what's right. Back to the article, we at least are very relieved. To be sure, this is partially because Gabbard and RFK represent long overdue corrections to the Washingtonian institutions. Gabbard will serve as a corrective to an intelligence bureaucracy that has grown arrogant, insular, and clannish, and which, despite a string of failures, still fancies themselves as the infallible protectors of America. Kennedy, meanwhile, is the worst nightmare of the unholy alliance between America's health care regulators and the pharmaceutical industry, and I would argue big food as well. It's not just big pharma. Big pharma and big food are two totally separate entities, and both equally needing reform, and both equally currently harming American citizens with their actions. So let's not forget them. Pharma, great. Food, also great. Let's make pharma and food great again. All right. Trademark that. If you want evidence of that, just look at the fact that his clearing, the committee, transformed Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren into a shrieking Karen. Now, to be clear, I disagree wholeheartedly there, because it says that his clearing of the committee transformed Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren into a shrieking Karen. It's not true. She has always been and always will be a shrieking Karen. I could listen to AOC talking and her odd Valley Girl New Yorker style voice. She's like a mixture of Boston College and the San Fernando Valley. It's the strangest thing. I can listen to her talk more easily than I can listen to Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren talking. Her voice grates on me badly, especially when she starts her that really, I don't even want to describe it, and I'm not going to play it for you. Not a chance. Warren, who has received over $5 million from the healthcare industry, has a right to be worried. That's one gravy train that potentially just ran dry, but her funders have even more reasons to be worried, given that Kennedy cheerfully committed under her questioning to not taking their money and seems bent on suing them for any improprieties he discovers. So we've got good things coming there. I do think, and CNN, Harry Enton came out and said that it's like about a 90% chance that everybody else gets through. On average, there's three appointees, presidential appointees of their first term. Technically, this is obviously Trump's second term, but it's really like his second first term. Yeah, it's like his first term because he's got to bring in a new cabinet. He didn't, second terms, generally speaking, in the vast majority of cases, you just retain your cabinet for a little bit longer. Some members leave. This time he's replacing an entire cabinet as if it's a first term. So when you compare to the past, there's usually three that don't make it through. And the majority of them, it's like they see the writing on the wall, some scandal comes out, they're talking, the whip tells them, hey, you don't got the votes to come out of committee, or hey, even if you come out of committee, you're not going to get the votes on the floor. Rather than suffer the embarrassment of being voted down, they usually just withdraw, right? Well, nobody's withdrawn other than Matt Gaetz. I mean, if Trump can get through Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, and RFK Jr., those are the three remaining truly controversial ones, at least this week, then it should be smooth sailing unless some scandal breaks. It really should. I mean, at that point, we would have had one appointee who withdrew, and that was Matt Gaetz. So we shall see. Thank you for watching that clip. I hope you loved it. Two things now that you're done watching the clip. Number one, find all my stuff and be sure to follow me on Rumble, YouTube, whatever, X, Getter, Brighteon, BitChute, those places. Go to jdrucker.com/find, jdrucker.com/find. Number two, please help support our newest sponsor. You can go to jdrucker.com/infowars, jdrucker.com/infowars, and shop the Alex Jones store. Help to keep an important piece of the media alive and well. jdrucker.com/infowars.